So in this video, I'm going to be discussing IGCSE science for home education. There are different exam boards, why some people choose IGCSE rather than GCSE for science. Now, I want to make something clear. There's an exam board called Cambridge, and I always recommend people not to do Cambridge because Cambridge is mainly done by private schools. And private schools, because private schools are the students are heavily tutored, the grade boundaries are going to be a lot harder to achieve the best grade. I have done the Cambridge exams. I looked at the past papers. It's incredibly difficult. Now, not all for GCSE, you have different exam boards. So you got EdXL, AQA, OCR, WJEC, which covers more for the Welsh. IGCSE, you got Cambridge, which I recommend you don't do. And you also have EdXL. Now, with GCSE sciences, what you do need to do is you have to do a practical element, and an exam center has to sign off that you've done the practical element, or that they gave you the opportunity to do that practical element. And sometimes, even if they sign it off, there might be some problems, and then they're going to tell you maybe you have to do the IGCSE. So it's a bit too much of a headache. With IGCSE science, you need to know about the practical elements because you're quizzed on it in their actual exam. But this is something you can find in the textbooks, which go through the practical elements. And the past papers you could go through, they all have the practical elements. So within the exam, you're going to find some exam questions that have like these practical experiments. And it's not hard to just learn the information. You don't have to do a practical to understand the exam. So now we've gone through that. IGCSE is what most home ed people go for, the EdXL version. I want to make something clear. I have lessons that teach single science, combined science, and the full sciences. So I want to go through what this all means. So let's talk about the full science. So you could do a full science for physics, for chemistry, and for biology. And this will cover 100% of the content. Now, I want to make something else clear. GCSE EdXL, IGCSE EdXL is different, just like AQA. They all follow some different topics that you won't cover in other exam boards. So whatever exam board you go for, make sure you use the videos and the textbooks for that particular exam board. So I've created a website with my brother called Revise Buddy that goes through all the different exam boards and has particular videos for each exam board. With my home education live lessons, I just go through IGCSE EdXL. If you want to go through a different exam board, I suggest you get a good textbook. You could use video help, but make sure the videos are for that particular exam board and that particular level. Like, for example, what I'm going to show you, the full sciences are different from single and combined sciences. So like I explained before, you could do a full science. So you could do an individual exams for physics, individual exams for chemistry, individual exams for biology. And each one of these accounts for one IGCSE. So sometimes you hear the term thrown around, which is called triple science. When you're talking about triple science, you're just talking about doing the physics, biology, and chemistry and getting those 3 qualifications. Now, there is an alternative, and I have live lessons for this, which is called single science and combined science. Now, single science has a mixture of biology, physics, and chemistry. So when I'm teaching this to my students, I'll go first through the biology, then I'll go through physics, and then I'll go through chemistry. Now, all of this is just worth one IGCSE. Now, you're probably wondering why. You're doing three subjects. Why is it just one IGCSE? And the reason is you actually only cover 33% of the full content found in the full sciences. So you're missing 66% of physics, 66% of chemistry, 66% of biology. So you're actually just doing a third plus another third plus another third. And if you add this all up together, 3 out of 3, which is 1. So that is why it accounts for one IGCSE. Combined is the same story. You do physics, biology, chemistry. But this time you were covering 66% of the content of physics, 66% of biology, 66% of chemistry. So it's like saying 2/3 plus 2 out of 3 plus 2 out of 3, which gives out 6 out of 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So this combined sciences is worth 2 IGCSEs. So I do live lessons for single science, separate from live lessons to combined science, separate from live lessons to full sciences. And I give my students the option to choose what they want to do. And I've also made a web app, like I told you, a website with my brother called Revise Buddy that has little mini videos that go through these separately. So even if you found a website, I know the biggest websites are Snap Revise. There's one called K Science, but they just go through EdXL GCSE. But even if you look at their website, like if you go for EdXL GCSE, you'll find like there's like just so many different variations, so many different options. And you got to be really careful because what you study has to reflect what the options you're going to actually do. So you might be doing a single science, but if you're studying for a full biology science, you're covering 66% of the content that you won't need in the actual exam. So if you want to do this without like using any providers, without using any videos, I suggest you get a textbook. I have textbooks for single science. I have textbooks for combined science. I have textbooks for the full sciences. Follow what's going through the textbooks. Use some YouTube videos to help you. If you're a Key Stage 3 student and you want to like learn the sciences, I recommend starting with a single science. Maybe then after go with the textbook and go with the combined science and then work towards the full, or you could go straight to the full sciences. Like I said, I have live lessons that go through single science, combined science, and the full sciences. So I do suggest, like, if a student is doing full sciences, come to my single and combined sciences because the content is going to help you with the full sciences. Especially if you're doing combined science, why don't you just come to single science and combined science? You could like come to joint live lessons and help you understand the content.